Hello and welcome to How to Use a Windows Computer for Students. In this episode, I'll be discussing how to use Google Slides. Now, Google Slides, once again, is accessed through Google Drive. And Google Slides basically allows you to make presentations, which is a very important thing to be able to do. So, first thing you need to do, just like with a document or Google Sheets, you need to hit the New. Go to Google Slides. This time it has the yellowish orange icon. Click on it. Then you make a new one. I'm going to name this one Science Presentation on Plants. And then, so the first thing, noticeably the difference is the interface is once again different from Microsoft Word and not Microsoft Word, sorry, Google Docs and Google Sheets. Although the same does apply for PowerPoint, Excel, and Microsoft Word. So first, you're given a title slide. We're going to call this Plant Experiment. And then I put a name, John Carr. And then, so this is a title slide. Now, you're not going to be able to do an entire presentation on one slide, so you're going to need multiple slides. And to make another slide, you go up here and you click on this plus, or you click on the down arrow and you can get slides with different layouts. So for example, if I wanted a title and body, that's the one you're going to use the most. So, say, like, what's a good initial part of a science experiment is a hypothesis. And now the important part, one of the most important parts about making a presentation like this, is that you need to be doing a lot of talking as opposed to reading off of the slides. So on the slides, you generally want to put keywords like predicted that. Here, actually, let's pull up our data, and here, see we have our document again. Now, let's say we predicted that plant 2 So it's not quite a complete sentence, but it's enough for you as a presenter to be able to point to and discuss and elaborate on what you're talking about there. However, this approach might not always be appropriate, so because it's a hypothesis, you might actually just want to type if I hypothesis always has to be an if-then statement, then and if you have a because statement on your hypothesis, you want to put that. The other thing about presentations is that you want to have big font. So I generally say like 24 point maybe would be good for this. And then this might actually be a good opportunity to use some italics, which are accessed the same exact way you use them in the Google Docs. And then put some quotation marks. And then there you go, there's your hypothesis. Okay, now let's make another slide. This slide will be data. And so all we're going to do here, actually we can even change the layout, which you can do by right-clicking. And you can move over to apply layout, and then you go over here. We're just going to put title only, because what we're going to do is we're going to go here, take our graph, Control C to copy it, and then you hold down Control and then you hit C and then it's copied, and then Control V here. Once again, yes, we want to link it. And then here you have your chart that you made in Google Sheets in your presentation, which is very good because then you can point to this, you can talk to your audience about the trends you noticed in your data and which plants ended up being the tallest, which in this case was plant 1. And then you can have Another slide for conclusions. And we're going to need to change the layout because it keeps the layout of the last slide you made. So we're going to apply layout, title, and body. Now here's what we're going to do. With this one, we're going to use bullets. Bullets can be accessed up here. They look like this. It'll say bullet list. You can also use a numbered list, which is great if you're making like a sequence, like if you're doing a science experiment and you're really seeing the procedure, which I may actually go back and do in a minute. But actually, it's probably beyond the scope of this presentation. But if you were to do a procedure, and that also works in Google Docs, you could do that with, so you don't have to number the lines yourself. Because if you type plants, if you type and then you hit enter, it automatically creates the next number. I'll do that sequentially forever. Bullet points are different. However, bullet points are very good for PowerPoints or Google Slides presentations because they're just like, they allow in a sense, make it so you don't have to write full sentences. Like, because it changes the expectation of the viewer that, okay, I'm just going to be getting big ideas, and then the person presenting is going to tell me about it and elaborate. So, conclusions. Hypothesis was incorrect because the plant 2 we predicted to be the tallest, and according to our data, plant 1 was actually the tallest. Hypothesis was incorrect. Or even if you want to shorten it even more, hypothesis not supported, and plant 1 was the tallest. And then if you had more information and you're doing a real experiment, you could put more information like sources of error or anything else depending on what is expected out of whatever project you may be doing. And so the other thing is that this presentation, let me make this a little bigger. This presentation looks pretty boring right now. Like it's all just white and blank. So what we can do is we can go over to the themes area and we can give it different things. Like now it's black with white text, which I guess makes the text stand out more, but still isn't quite as interesting. If you wanted something more interesting, we could use, say, this theme called Beach Day. It gives you different fonts, and all the colors are still the same. More interesting theme like slate, perhaps, which once again just change the color. The theme that's more interesting is, say, something like modern writer or paperback, which gives you a nice little border down here, and it gives the slides a nice, not off-white color. And there's tons of themes here, and you can use them depending on what you want. Like this highlights all those titles, which actually is quite a nice effect. Or maybe this is what you want to do, which brings back the line at the bottom of some of the slides. It depends on what you're presenting. It depends on how you want to present it and what your audience is. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.